country in the world, and it is worth fighting for. It is worth bleeding for, and if it takes it, it's worth dying for the greatest country that this world has ever seen.
Oh, you thought you were going to see a cowboy hat and Chad Prather. Well, guess what? Chad doesn't love you enough to be here. Well, there we go. A little late there, Mr. Producer. As I was saying, you thought you were going to see a cowboy hat and Chad Prather. Well, guess what? You're not, because Chad doesn't love you enough to be here on a Thursday. So there. No, just kidding. Chad is sick. He's under the weather right now, so you're stuck with me and the Mexican. So welcome to Dear America, everybody. Stay tight, stay tuned. And I got just a disclaimer here. I missed yesterday. I had some family stuff to take care of. And then me and Kendra had a show yesterday on mental health. So I'm not going to lie. I have no idea what we're talking about today. So I'm going to be seeing everything for the first time, just like you. So we're going to have fun with it. But I was told by the producer and by Tony that today is a day of happiness. Today is a day of celebration. Today is a show about winning. And I know we come in here every single day, and I know you guys get tired of it, just us beating the ever-living piss out of you with bad news here and bad news there. So today, the theme is good news. Am I right? I think it's good news. But I just have to announce that for the remainder of the day and until tomorrow, all you Mormons, we are mortal enemies for the rest of the day. Because today, Alabama plays BYU at 6 o'clock God time. So until then, we're mortal enemies and roll tide. But before we go on with the show, let's talk about Birch Gold, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget, gold is and it's becoming a very, very hot commodity at this moment. All you got to do, listen, we preach this all the time. I've been talking about this for over a year now, is text the word Graham to 989898. That's all we're asking you to do. They're going to send you a little 25-page booklet. If you have a retirement, if you have IRA, whatever it is. And look at that. Look at that big, beautiful gold. Where's it at right now? I know it's up. It's got to be. Because the dollar is not. But there you go. It's up 30 right now. It's up 30, folks. Palladium is up 16. Platinum is up 1.26. Even silver's up. Listen. All I'm asking you to do, I'm not asking you to do anything with it. I just want you to text the word Graham, Graham, to 989898 right now. Please stop what you're doing. Text the word Graham to 989898 right now. So let's talk about Snow White, because, I promised you happiness, but apparently...
Excuse me, did you forget me?
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, my bad. My bad. I'm sorry.
Are you doing the show by yourself or what?
Look, man, I'm used to doing the show by myself because of the hot seat. My bad. I forgot about...
That's all right.
I forgot about my brother from another Mexican mother. Mexican Tony, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry.
Here, let me just get out of the chair. You can just do the show by yourself.
I'm so sorry.
What the heck, man?
I got on a roll, man. Like, I got on a roll and just completely forgot. I'm
How
sorry.
How could you forget me? I would not have forgotten you. I mean, that's just, dude, that's brutal.
Man.
I feel like I should go cry myself back to the show here.
Finding out that you're hosting the show 10, 15 minutes before the show, I'm entitled to a mistake, okay? And, yeah, all right. Anyway, as I was saying... Snow White. Let's talk about Snow White. For whatever reason, our infamous producer loves this movie, and it's cracked his top 5 of all-time favorite movies. I still haven't figured out why. But, so the son of the Snow White producer, Mark Platt, absolutely unleashes on Rachel Zegler, the lady that played Snow White, for whatever reason, and you're going to have to make that. Hold up. I can lean in. Here we go. So this is what he has to say.
Is this a video or just a story?
Yeah, I don't. This is just him going off on her. You really want to do this? Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to go fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics in the middle of promoting the movie, for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. That's called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged. And yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. That's what she did. She hijacked the entire film to make a political statement, and look how that turned out.
So our producer has seen this movie twice with his daughter, and I told him, I said, I'm gonna watch it just because I'm curious. I want to see what the big deal is. I know you're not gonna watch it, Todd, but I haven't seen a lot of the last Disney movies. I didn't watch Little Mermaid. I did not watch. No, I did watch The Lion King, but I watched it after it came out of the theater, just on Disney Plus. But I want to watch this. I want to see what all the big hubbub is, and what, why she said what she did. I'm just curious more than anything. I mean, it might be 10 minutes into the movie, I'm like, nope, thank you.
Well, all I can say at this point is Disney ruins everything.
Yeah,
they ruined Marvel. They ruined Star Wars. They ruined ESPN. They ruined ESPN. They've ruined everything. So honestly, just bankrupt the company and call it a day. That's just my opinion. But hey, throw that back up. What's that? Hey, that's Graham. I may be biased, but this is the best morning show. I miss you all, Graham. Imagine that.
Graham
is in.
Does he have his phone on him? Dude, jump on and just say hi to everybody, man. Come on. No pressure.
He's in an undisclosed location.
No pressure.
At a secret nuclear bunker in the Pentagon somewhere. He probably can't. They'll show a serial number on a missile that we can't see.
I talked to Graham the other day, and he wanted me to tell you guys that I'm his favorite. So just FYI, don't feel
that's
bad.
because you're a brother-in-law. Shut up. That doesn't count. I've known him longer. Go away.
Exactly.
I can't believe we're sitting here arguing about who.
And what does that say about you? You know him longer, but he likes me better.
Well, I mean, I am like Alabama. You either love me or hate me. There's no middle ground. But anyway,
there's a middle ground for me. I don't like or hate Alabama. I don't give a crap about Alabama.
That's what I'm saying. But enough about that. Let's get into some true blue, just American. Listen, I'm going to tell you, if these next three clips, these next three things, okay, does not stir patriotism in your heart, then you just need to Tinder us and swipe right or whatever it is, because J.D. Vance hung out with the freaking Marine Corps yesterday in Quantico, and it was amazing. And so they went absolutely nuts when this dude took the stage. Play this clip.
Hurrah, Marines, how we doing?
What happened? Anyway, they went absolutely insane. Well, obviously because JD was a Marine. But look, guys, I talk to folks that are still in the uniform daily. Still got several friends that are Marines, Navy, Army. They're loving this change. I haven't talked to one that are like, no, they're loving it. One of my friends told me in his company building, he said the greatest, and he's been in for 17 years. He said the greatest day so far in my career is when I got to take the Biden picture down and hang up the Trump picture. He said that was the greatest day of my career so far.
But
But
really, Todd, I mean, how could you compare Vance with freaking drunk Harris? I mean, you have a strong vice president, probably the next president here, going out to visit the men in uniform there, you know, the bases and all that. I mean, how can you compare with a drunk Harris going out there and always cackling and not knowing what the hell she's talking about?
yeah, could you imagine for a second, like seriously, Kamala Harris walking up those steps, or even worse, you know, JD Vance going, yeah, yeah, exactly, to a bunch of Marines, like, oh my God, because like, listen, let me tell you something. When it comes to all the branches and being a medic, I got to, you know, hang out with a bunch of them because I was an Army medic, but I got to do some time with the Marine Corps. I got to do some time with the Navy and stuff like that. Them boys don't play. Like, they're serious. They love this country. I mean, it's borderline robotic. They love this country, and if they don't trust you and trust your decision making and trust your leadership, brother, they gonna let you know it. So it would have been a bad day if Kamala Harris would have walked up on that daggone stage. I'm just telling you. But
telling me.
so this is JD. He's on a sniper range. You see the spotter here. Make that bigger for me. Just taking his shot. Headshot. I mean, it's just. Dude, how great is that?
That's pretty awesome, dude. Just watching them out there and just interact with the military. But I gotta say, man, I mean, I've shot rifles like that before in that kind of position, and it's not very comfortable. I don't know how snipers do it when they're there for hours. I mean, it's just, I mean, I myself like to go out shooting, but I like to do more. You know, I like to shoot the ARs and the handguns and all that stuff. But yeah, doing something like that. I mean, Todd, I don't know. You were in the military. I mean,
yeah. So
I guess your body gets used to it.
It does. Well, it does. But let me paint a picture. That's probably close to, I would venture to say, probably 1,000 yards out.
Yeah, I was gonna say. That's
Did
a long
y'all?
way.
And you could turn the volume up a little. Play that video again. Turn the volume up. Do you hear the wind? And he says, hit, headshot, 1,000 yards. Yeah, Nuke says that's about 500 meters. Wind, headshot, epic. I mean, if Joe Biden would have been laying right there, that kick would have separated his collarbone.
If Joe Biden would have been laying there, it would have meant that he was dead, dude. Come on.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, you know, that would have separated Biden's shoulder, and Kamala never would have done it. Timothy Waltz would have hit the pine trees behind the targets. So, yeah, because we got one, our vice president knows how to shoot a sniper rifle. Tim Waltz can't even load a damn shotgun. So, like, I mean, get out of here. Sorry, you can buzz me for that. My bad. But 3 videos. This is my favorite one because I love it. JD fires a howitzer.
Oh my God!
Yes, this is as American as it gets because I mean I've got to do all of these things. I've got to be on a sniper range with Green Berets. I've got to do this with artillery guys. If we got volume on this, turn it all the way up because this is just as American as it gets right here.
Have you shot this weapon before?
Yes.
Todd, you did?
Yes.
Oh, I hate you.
Shot one way bigger than this. And I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. Okay, that is as American as it gets, but go ahead and pause it, and I'm going to hurt your feelings just a little bit, okay? Nothing came out of that barrel. That is a 10, probably a 10 gauge blank, No shell came out of that at all, even though that is very, very cool. All that is just a big loud boom. That's it. So that's the kind of thing they use for like college football games and things like that.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what do they use those for? Then those blanks is just to get you used to the.
Yeah. Yeah, you go to like Texas A&M and you hear the big boom when A&M scores. The round's this big, but where the firing pin is, there's a 10 gauge blank in it, and it does. It's pretty loud, but trust me, the barrel didn't move, the thing didn't kick. That ain't real. But play it again. I mean, it's still awesome. Locked in the chamber. Lock it in.
Ready? Fire.
Man, it's still cool. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not crapping on it. I'm just telling you the truth.
Yeah,
all right, that's all.
You totally crapped on it.
I'm just telling you the truth.
I was more excited when it was like a live round. So.
It's still cool. I mean, guys, there's a deck'em tent sitting right there. You really think they would fire like a live round over a tent sitting right there? Like,
hey, I can't see downrange. I don't know what they're fired at. So.
But it's still cool. I mean,
ignorance is bliss, Todd, in my book. So.
You know, while y'all are pissed at me, let's talk about Brightcore. Let's pull up Brightcore for me, Mr. Producer. Lord have mercy. Sorry, guys. I was just telling the truth. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there's a war happening right now, and it is probably not where you think. It's in your gut. There's a battle between good bacteria and bad bacteria, but it can determine your health. Kimchi 1 from Brightcore Nutrition is a fermented superfood that your body needs to arm the good guys with the right weapons to defeat the bad actors once and for all. I highly recommend this product because all health starts in the gut. So putting the right fermented superfood in your gut improves every aspect of your health, your heart, your brain, and even the quality of your skin and the growth of your hair. Containing over 900 strains of beneficial bacteria in each capsule, Kimchi 1 supports healthy digestion, fortifies your immune system, and helps detoxify your body. Kimchi 1 is all natural, non-GMO, dairy-free, gluten-free, and is 100% made in the USA. Go to mybrightcore.com and use promo America for 25% off. So go check these guys out, get you some kimchi, and trust me, the peels are way better than the actual kimchi because that stuff tastes like garbage. So for my veterans in the chat, have you noticed that the VA has changed? I don't know if you have. I have. The VA has changed a lot of things over the last couple of weeks. Appointments are getting easier to jump in. I'm getting a better response every time I contact the VA. I mean, it's slowly progressing. Why? And that is thanks to our new VA Secretary, Doug Collins, who absolutely destroys, what's her name? Caitlin Collins on CNN. Let's play the clip, Mr. Producer.
Do you believe that a mistake was made here, though, to have this conversation, to add a reporter, and to have it on an unsupported, classified group setting?
Caitlin, as I've just told you, I've just answered the question. I wasn't a part of it. And, I'm not going to speculate more than what the president's already talked about and those who've been involved have talked about. But we'd love to talk about the veterans.
Yeah, and I do have questions about the veterans. But given what we saw with the group chat and how this was used, you are a member of the cabinet. You obviously know these other members, several of them who were in there. Is this typical for the cabinet to have conversations over Signal? Is this something that you use?
Well, Caitlin, since you undoubtedly do not want to talk about the VA, I have a question as VA Secretary. As Cabinet, I want to ask you, because I've been curious about this, because my job is to take care of veterans, and I would like to know why CNN is hostile to veterans, especially one in Florida, where you just had a $5 million defamation suit taking offense at a veteran who was trying to help people. In fact, one of your employees actually said, we're going to nail him. I have a question for you, Caitlin. Is that employee still employed? Are you really concerned about veterans? So if we don't want to talk about veterans now, you want to talk about everything else, I'd like to hear from CNN as the Veteran Cabinet Secretary why CNN seems to have a problem with veterans.
Well, Mr. Secretary, respectfully, my question was about whether or not you as a member of the cabinet use this. And respectfully, I'm conducting the investigation. And I do have a lot of questions for you on Veterans Affairs. But I don't think
No,
it would
Caitlin,
be
what you want to do
unwarranted
is you
to
want to talk
ask
about a subject.
if
What
you
you
as a
want to
member
do
of
is
the
talk about a
cabinet.
subject that I've already answered. And if you want to continue this like this, that's fine. But there are VA employees who are working very hard. There are veterans who get their care from the VA and they get their benefits from the VA. And it does me no good to speculate on something that I've already asked and answered. So I've asked and answered your question. Why don't you answer mine? Is this person still employed who said they were going to nail one of my veterans? Who you had to do a $5 million award from a jury because of defamation, and then you settled the case. Answer my question.
Respectfully, sir, I'm asking the questions here, and I have no involvement in what you're referencing there. But if you don't want to answer the question about whether or not...
Translation, do not piss off Doug Collins. Translation. Okay.
That is what it's called, a bitch slapping.
Yes, that was
literally. It literally was. I mean,
he slapped.
I don't, you know, I don't understand all these reporters and all. I mean, that was CNN, right? Is that who that was?
Yeah.
I mean, again, I haven't seen any of that stuff. I mean, obviously, he was there to talk about the VA and about his veterans and whatnot, and it's an important subject because, like you were just saying there, Todd, I'm not a veteran, and I don't know, but you're saying that the VA has changed a little bit for the better.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Yeah, it has gotten better.
And so the Trump administration is trying to make changes to make everything streamlined for everybody. And that's what I'm assuming that's what he was there to talk about and just kind of promote the VA. And she goes off on this whole thing with the Signal app that he obviously has said he already answered the question, but she kept on badgering him about it. And he just went off on her. I mean, good for him. And I'm glad he just slapped it on her.
Look, listen, and a lot of people don't understand this whole Signal thing, and listen, the reason, and I said this on my show yesterday, the reason why the Democrats are just on fire over this Signal thing is because they have a 26% approval rating. They're going down the toilet and they're grasping for straws, because I read every single message in that entire conversation. There was no OPSEC, which is operational security. There was no where the planes are taking off from, where they're targeting, nothing. There was nothing there. And if you go and you look at when it started and now how it's come, they started with, oh my God, Pete Hegseth leaked classified information. Then it was secret information. And now if you go look at Elizabeth Warren's page, she says sensitive information. So they're grasping for straws. They're 26% approval rating. And this is the only thing they can cling to. Nothing, and I mean nothing in that entire Signal chat was worthy of anything. So
it does seem like they're pretty desperate about it. They just want to keep on, pushing the narrative that it was more than it actually was, because I mean, like you just said, Todd, I mean, there wasn't any really sensitive information.
Nothing.
Yeah. It was an unfortunate situation. Yeah, it shouldn't have gone out to whatever reporter it was that they sent it out. But again, there wasn't anything that put the American lives in danger or anything like that. So they're looking for anything to try to make some bad PR for the Trump administration. And they're just, I mean, they sound like morons really at this point, because, there's nothing there.
Now, were there things in there that, everybody should know? No. I mean, of course there were. I mean, there was, I wouldn't say that, oh my God, that should have been broadcasted across the news. No. Okay. They made a mistake. A reporter from the Atlantic, a Trump hating reporter, somehow got in the chat, but that wouldn't, if it was a war, if that was a wartime scenario, okay, the enemy would have learned nothing from that chat. Nothing. Would have learned nothing from that. So that's where I'm at with it. Should it have happened? No. Did it hurt anything? No. So shut up and move on. Anyway. Let's talk about this Turkish national that just was detained by ICE. And guys, this video looks something straight out of like Mission Impossible, where you see somebody walking down the street and like people are like, and they close in on her. So this lady from Turkey, Rumamisa, Turkey, who is a Burka citizen and a doctoral student, was arrested and sent to a detention center. Now, she previously demanded that they acknowledge the Palestinian genocide, divest from companies tied to Israel. So basically, just like the other Peckerwood from Colombia, she hates Jews, she hates Israel, and she's pro-Hamas. And what has Trump and the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, said? If you do it, you know what? I'm gonna save it. We're gonna play the video, and then we'll discuss. No, time to go. And there she goes. She gets detained. All right. And from what I understand, go up for me, Mr. Producer. They're revoking her visa. Yes, according to ICE, she's sent to a detention facility in Louisiana. They are revoking her visa. All right. And let's go to me and Tony together, and let's talk about this for a second, Tony. For just a second. All right. So listen, Marco Rubio explained this in the best way possible. If you're here on a visa, all right, whether it's a student visa, whether it's a work visa, you are a visitor. Okay, you are a visitor to this country, and your visa can be revoked for whatever reason. You're visiting here. All right, if I go to Germany, if I go to Italy, if I go to any other foreign country as a student on a visa and I act a fool, they're going to send me back here. All right, putting it in crayon, Tony, if I come to your house to visit, which I am in a few weeks because our beloved producer Zach's getting married next month, if I come to your house as a visitor and I start acting a complete and total idiot, you're going to throw me out of your house, right?
No, I'd probably shank you and bury you in the backyard, but that's just my process. But yeah, I'd probably throw you out. No, I think this has been a long time coming. I haven't understood for these past decades how we allow people to come into this country and wave their whatever flag that's not an American flag and protest for whatever they're protesting for. I'm all for, free speech and all that, but when you start inciting riots and start damaging people's property because you think that your subject or whatever you're protesting about is more important than the values we share here in our country, that's going out of the way. I'm not saying that's what she did, but if she's promoting Hamas and all this stuff, I mean, that's a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
I don't understand how this thing has gone so far that we're allowing people to do that. So, I mean, I think, like I said, this has been a long time coming. I think Trump's administration dropping the hammer on these people, saying we are not going to allow that crap anymore. If you want to go protest for against Israel or you want to protest for Hamas, we'll send you to Hamas. You can go over there and live with them, the rest of your life. Here you go. Bye. Go.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at. And people forget, like all of these students forget that the State Department declared Hamas a terrorist organization back in the 90s. All right, and if you don't believe me, just go to the State Department FTO website. Hamas is and always has been labeled a terrorist organization. And you're here as a keyword visitor. Right. Visitor. You're here as a visitor. So I'm sorry. You know what? No, the hell I'm not. I'm not sorry. If you're standing in the middle of a college campus or in the middle of a street waving a Hamas flag, I hope they snatch you and your whole family up and send you right back to Hamas. All right, because if you love them so much, then go hang out with them and see how that works out. And
that's what I'm saying. I hope this sets an example to presidents for people that you come to this country and you do this kind of stuff. We're not going to put up with this stuff anymore. You're going to live by our American values, and we're not going to allow people to promote terrorist organizations anymore, whether it be, Hamas or any other terrorist group. You want to do that, go to their country and go be a cheerleader on their territory, not on ours.
Yeah, 100%. It's like the old saying goes, I don't know where you guys to go, but you got to get the hell out of here. Bye. But anyway, move on. Let's talk about American financing. What you say, Mr. Producer? Let's talk about some financing. Look, listen, guys, I don't know how your financial situation is right now. I know a lot of people in this country are hurting right now, but if you're like thousands of homeowners right now, American financing talks to every month people that are struggling to keep up, barely making ends meet, drowning in high interest debt, and it's not your fault. Life gets more expensive. Inflation has hit this country hard, and if you're still carrying credit card balances with 20+% interest rates while your mortgage sits untouched, you're ignoring the one thing that can turn it all around, your home. And this is where American financing can help. Would you trade 10 minutes for a shot at saving an average of $800 every single month? Because that's exactly what homeowners are doing when they call American financing. Simple, no obligation call could change everything. They have a team of salary-based mortgage consultants, so there isn't any incentive to put you into a loan that doesn't make sense. There's no upfront fees to find out how much you can save. But look, don't wait. All you got to do is call American Financing today and start feeling that relief. Give them a call today, 888-675-4090, 888-675-4090, or you can visit americanfinancing.net/Chad. And for those of you wondering, Chad's sick, because I've seen that like 100 times. Where's Chad? He's sick. Look, you're stuck with me and the Mexican. Deal with it, okay?
Me and the Mexican. I love that, actually. That's pretty funny.
You're welcome.
We had a good show the other day on your show, man.
Oh, we had a blast.
That was pretty cool. Yeah,
we had a
that was pretty
blast.
cool.
We had a blast. Taco Tuesday. And I literally ate a taco during Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, you did. You douche.
That was so funny. That was so funny. All right, let's go on. What we got next, Mr. Producer? And everybody thinks Mr. Producer's name is Zach because I said Zach. Zach is an old producer that we had years ago, and he's getting married next month. So Zach is not the producer. Let's talk about Trump sending a message to the trans agenda.
On day one, I made the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. Is there anybody, seriously, is there anybody that disagrees with that in this room? I was thinking maybe somebody from the press might raise their hand. I don't think so. There aren't too many people. You know, it's amazing. It's got to be like a 98% issue, right? So what are they doing, Marjorie? What are they doing? They're fighting for a 2% issue. That's good. Let them keep doing it. No matter how many surgeries you have or chemicals you inject, if you're born with male DNA in every cell of your body, you can never become a woman. You're not going to be a woman. And that's why last month I proudly signed a historic executive order to ban men from competing in women's sports, and it was very popular and very...
All right, so I'm not going to bring out Professor Hot Seat again to talk about this because great speech, whatever, but it pisses me off that it has to be said.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it pisses me off that we have to sign an executive order to say there are two genders, okay? I got two books that you can read, that'll tell you that. One is a book that a lot of those liberals need to be reading called the Bible, all right? Because he made them male and he made them female, okay? I encourage you to read that one first. The second book is you can go to any class in America. You can go to any nursing school. You can go to any medical school and pick up a anatomy and physiology book, and it'll tell you the same thing. XX, XY. You can't change that. And the fact that we have to have an executive order stating that there's only two genders blows my freaking mind.
Yeah, I love watching Charlie Kirk's episodes there where he goes into the universities and people, they come up to the mic and they try to argue with him, and the guy is super smart, and he gets those conversations all the time with people, guys dressed in dresses or trans or gay or whatever, and again, Todd, you and I have talked about whatever you want to do on your time is fine. Just don't try to, push your values on me, because I was, whatever.
Exactly.
Everybody's gonna do their own thing. But when it comes down to it, like you just said, Todd, you cannot change your chromosomes, XX and XY. That's how you were born. A biological man cannot get pregnant. And people talk about this all the time, where you are, as a married man and as a father of girls, of women, you are trying to take away, all these trans people are trying to take away the respect and the value that a woman holds. Women are the only ones that can bear children. Men can't do that. No matter how much you believe you can, you cannot do that. And the same thing, women that are trying to be trans, you cannot get a woman pregnant. There's just no way. You don't have the chromosomes to do that. So whatever thoughts you have in your brain about you transitioning into a man or you transitioning into a woman is not going to change your chromosomes. So, God, at the end of the day, when your lifeline goes out on you, you're not gonna have to deal with our judgment and our criticism. You're gonna have to deal with the Lord Himself. Why you are trying to transition yourself into, He made you the person you are, and you're going against what He made you. So again, you're gonna have to deal with it, not us.
Right. And look, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not as quick-witted as Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk and Chad Prather and Graham Allen, but when it comes to this conversation here and this argument, I challenge any liberal, any Democrat, anybody thinks that there are more than two genders. I challenge you to explain this to me. 100 years from now, when we're all dead, if you go to a cemetery that has 100 bodies in it and dig up those bones, you're not going to be able to tell what the person identified as, but by their skeletal structure, you can tell whether they were men or women.
Right.
Okay. Unless it's on their tombstone, here lies Timmy. He identifies as a female. That's the only way you're going to be able to tell. Okay. Mm-hmm. And for me, that is the mic drop, shut the heck up moment right there. Okay. If we're all dead and gone, our skeletons, male, female, not your feelings.
That scared me, Todd. I thought you were going to say it. I was like, oh.
I got close. Sometimes, man, when it comes to some of these conversations like that with me and with you messing with kids, we get there. We get there sometimes.
Yep.
But anyway, so Trump has announced new tariffs. Let's go to that, Mr. Producer. I will tell you, all of you, I will be completely honest with you. I don't know if tariffs are going to work or not. All right. I'm not an economist. That's the thing about the economy. I don't really think anybody is an economist, because the economy goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Everybody gives their opinion. Nobody knows why. I think being an economist is kind of like being a weatherman. Okay. You throw a dart at the wall and then pray to God you're right. But this is just what he announced, 25%. I do like this, and we'll discuss it. Let's play this clip.
What we're going to be doing is a 25% tariff on all cars that are not made in the United States. If they're made in the United States, there's absolutely no tariff. We started off with a 2.5% base, which is what we were at, and we go to 25%. And basically, as you know, and as you've been seeing, not reporting as accurately as it should be reported, because it's a massive story. Business is coming back to the United States so that they don't have to pay tariffs. And I think also because of November 5th, the election, they're very happy. AI is coming back to levels that nobody's ever seen before. It's sort of a new business, I guess, when you think about it. But it's plants are going up all over the United States, and many of them have already been started. We're getting early electricity taken care of. We're getting permits very quickly for them. And we're going to make their life very happy. They're coming in with tens of billions of dollars. Individual plants will cost 10, 15, even 20
All right, let's stop there.
We're going to let them...
and go to that tweet, the Art of the Deal tweet. Okay, this is phase one, lowering tariffs on American-made vehicles too. All right, and he says, don't panic. He is slapping 25% tariffs on all vehicles coming into the U.S. Now, this... it can make sense. I can make it make sense, because he wants you, the car manufacturer, make your cars here. Bring them here. Create them here. build them here. He wants more factories, more jobs, equals more money, less people living on the streets, less people drawing checks from the government. I can totally get on board with that. Now, and what I said earlier about tariffs working or not working, I'm not saying they will or won't. But what I do know is that Trump had one of the best economies we've had in a long time during his first term. And don't get me wrong, COVID sucked it up a little bit, but Biden pissed all over it. Okay, with the highest inflation we've ever seen. The economy pre-COVID was great.
Yep. Very true. And I agree with you, Todd. I also, I'm kind of in the same mindset of you. I don't know if the tariffs are going to work or not. Obviously, I'm not an economist either. But what I do know is that we're still it's not going to be fixed overnight. And I've said this many times, Biden left us a crappy economy and we're trying to fix it. He's trying to fix it with doing everything he's doing. Obviously, us regular people who pay, insurance and grocery bills and all that, we're not rich people. So yeah, it's hurting our pocketbook right now. But again, we have to be patient because Rome wasn't built overnight. And let's remember that Biden left all the destruction he did when he was doing all his stuff. So
yeah, exactly. And so what I look at is twofold. Okay, what I look at is all right, Trump had a great economy when he was president the first time. Therefore, he has earned my trust. Okay, now y'all know me. I call balls and strikes. If it starts sucking, I will get right here and I'll start tearing him a new one. All right, because I've told you before, I'll say it again. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. I'm an American. I'm American first, and I am what is best for the American people, and I don't care what that is, okay? So I'm going to call balls and strikes, and I'm going to call it like I see it, all right? And number two is by tariffing these foreign vehicles, making these companies come here, build their factories here, whatever that is, whether it's cars, whether it's microchips, whether it's damn wheelbarrows, I don't care. All right. Building them here creates jobs. Whereas Biden created jobs by building an overinflated government for people getting government jobs who were sitting their ass at home on a computer, not having to show up to work every day. That was costing you, the taxpayers, more dollars every single year. That's the difference. And that's how I see it. So maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong.
I have a question for you, Todd, and for the live chat too. Do you guys think that our prices will ever go back down around COVID, pre-COVID kind of thing? Because obviously inflation is out of control right now. I know that the Trump's only been in there for a few months, and we're all still feeling it in our pocketbooks. Do you guys think that the prices will ever come back down? Because a lot of these manufacturers, they are almost price gouging us. I mean, you can see. I mean, I'm not talking about the eggs. I'm just talking about everything. I mean, you can see that electricity's up, gas is up, and stuff like that. I just don't ever know if they're ever going to come back down.
Yeah, and that's I've said that before, and as you can see here, eggs are down 59%. You know why? Because we have chickens now. Right. I mean, they lost their minds over the egg prices things, but they failed to mention that Biden's administration slaughtered millions of chickens. But now they're starting to come back around, and we knew they would. I mean, as soon as the chickens grew up and were old enough to start popping again, then egg prices would go back down, and they have. But to answer your question, Tony, I don't see it. I think that now that Ford, let's just use a car for example, that Z71, that's $65,000. They know the American people are going to pay $65,000 for it. You already have. Why would I lower the cost?
Yep.
And unfortunately, that's what I think is going to happen. Now, I think your food, your meats, your essentials will go down, but I don't see houses. I don't see cars. I don't see the non-essentials going down.
I don't think that's gonna go down either, Todd. Because I mean, you go to a store like, let's say Walmart, a bottle of ketchup that costs $3 2 years ago is costing $5 now. Why would they bring it back down to $3 if everybody's used to paying $5 now? I mean, it would almost be bad business if they can keep it that way and people are used to it now, unless there's something across the board that says we have to lower the prices on everything because we can't keep up with inflation. And that's where the people are getting hurt most. The retired people, the old people who are retired, they cannot keep up with the inflation right now. I mean, their Social Security checks that are coming up to be $800 to $1,500 a month can't keep up with all the rising costs of the rent and groceries and all that. And I just see they're the ones that are going to be suffering more than anybody else, because us youngins, we can go out and get a job at freaking Mickey D's and make, minimum wage to supplement our income. But those people who can't anymore because they can't work anymore, they can't keep up with any of this stuff.
And I hope that I'm wrong. I do. I just know greedy men. Men are greedy, and there is a reason why money is mentioned in the Bible more than anything. Is because the good Lord was trying to tell us something. Okay, and I'm sorry, I just don't see the owner of Nike saying, "Hey, I made that kid pay $250 for a pair of shoes," and then 6 months from now, "Hey, let's lower that shoe. That's $250. Let's be nice and let's lower that shoe to $150." I don't see it happening because they're just greedy peckerwoods. I mean, I'm sorry. They just are. And, before you judge, if you were in that position and you got somebody if you had a product and somebody paid a price for it, that gave you profit, would you lower it? I'm just saying, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. That's all I'm saying.
Again, I think we all just need to emailing Elon and just having him give us $1 million each, and we still have more money than he can spend.
I just can't win to win that. I just can't win. I can't wait to win that lottery that I never play. But let's move on and let's talk about NPR and PBS for a minute. All right, and I have full transparency here. I've never watched, listened, heard an episode of anything of NPR in my entire life ever. I know it stands for, what does it stand for? National Public Radio or something like that. Never seen anything. And the last time I watched PBS was back when Sesame Street was still cool and didn't have little homosexual stuff running around in it. And I was probably like 6. So we're going to play this whole clip. Yeah, there you go. I got it right. Hey, thank you, Mr. Producer. I got it right. That's the only thing I know about NPR. But we're going to watch this whole clip because Rep. Brandon Gill destroys NPR.
Smar, I want to start with you. Just generally, would you say you generally agree or disagree with the following statement? The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles?
I would not say I agree with that, sir.
You're not. That's good to hear. It's interesting because a lot of your thinking, as expressed by your public statements, is deeply infused with economic and cultural Marxism. Do you believe that America is addicted to white supremacy?
I believe that I tweeted that, and as I've said earlier, I believe much of my thinking has evolved over the last half decade.
It has evolved. Why did you tweet that?
I don't recall the exact context, sir, so I wouldn't be able to say.
Okay. Do you believe that America believes in black plunder and white democracy?
I don't believe that, sir.
You tweeted that in reference to a book you were reading at the time, apparently, The Case for Reparations.
I don't think I've ever read that book, sir.
You tweeted about it. You said you took a day off to fully read The Case for Reparations. You put that on Twitter in January of 2020.
I apologize, I don't recall that I did.
Okay.
I'd no doubt that your tweet there is correct, but I don't recall that.
Okay. Do you believe that white people inherently feel superior to other races?
I do not.
You don't? You tweeted something to that effect. You said, I grew up feeling superior. How white of me. Why did you tweet that?
I think I was probably reflecting on what it was to grow up in an environment where I had lots of advantages.
It sounds like you're saying that white people feel superior.
I don't believe that anybody feels that way, sir. I was just reflecting on my own experiences.
Do you think that white people should pay reparations?
I've never said that, sir.
Yes, you did. You said it in January of 2020. You tweeted, yes, the North, yes, all of us, yes, America, yes, our original collective sin and unpaid debt, yes, reparations, yes, on this day.
I don't believe that was a reference to fiscal reparations, sir.
What kind of reparations was it a reference to?
I think it was just a reference to the idea that we all owe much to the people who came before us.
That's a bizarre way to frame what you tweeted. Okay. How much reparations have you personally paid?
Sir, I don't believe that I've ever paid reparations.
Okay, it's just for everybody else.
I'm not asking anyone
Seems
to
to
pay
be what you're
reparations, sir.
suggesting. Do you believe that looting is morally wrong?
I believe that looting is illegal, and I refer to it as counterproductive. I think it should be prosecuted.
Do you believe
to the
it's
full extent of the
morally
law.
wrong, though?
Of course.
Of course. Then why did you refer to it as counterproductive? It's a very different way to describe it.
It is both morally wrong and counterproductive, as well as being
You
illegal.
tweeted, "It's hard to be mad about protests," in reference to the BLM protests, not prioritizing the private property of a system of oppression. You didn't condemn the looting. You said that it was counterproductive. NPR also promoted a book called In Defense of Looting. Do you think that that's an appropriate use of taxpayer dollars?
I'm unfamiliar with that book, sir, and I don't believe that was at my
You
time at
tweeted
NPR.
that you read that book, but
I don't believe that I did read that book, sir.
do you?
Okay. Just for reference, that is the CEO of NPR, okay? Your classic epitard. And just on another note, NPR receives $535 million yearly from you, the taxpayer, to push this this insanity. Go ahead, Mr. Producer. You better throw it up now. What I'm about to say, in no way, shape, form, or fashion, is the opinions of Dear America or anybody on the Dear America network. What I'm about to say is the opinions of Hot Seat Todd and Hot Seat Todd alone. I don't owe you nothing. I've never owned anybody. Nobody in my family has ever owned anybody. And when that stuff was going on, I wasn't even alive. And guess what? Nobody owes you nothing because you have never been owned by anybody. Nobody that's alive in your family has ever been owned by anybody. And you were all dead when that was going on. So nobody owes you nothing. I'm tired of hearing this white supremacy garbage and this white privilege mess and madness. Let me tell you something about white privilege. It doesn't exist. I am a walking example of it. Born and raised in the backwoods of Mississippi, where all you had to do in a trailer park was bullets, bonfires, and beer. That was it. I joined the Army when I was 17 years old so I could go to college, get an education, and make something of myself. The reason I got to where I am is not because of the color of my skin. It's because I worked my ass off. So stop giving me this white privilege and reparations crap. I'm not paying you nothing. Nothing.
Preach it, Todd. That's awesome. Well, number one, I am owned by my youngest daughter, I would say, because she comes and she raids my refrigerator anytime she wants. She storms into my house and takes whatever she wants anytime she wants, be it in college. But I agree with you, Todd. I think this whole reparation that thing is just absolutely idiotic. And we've talked about this on the show before, on all kinds of different shows. This shouldn't be a thing anymore because, like you just said, you've never owned anybody. I've never owned anybody. Nobody on this planet is still alive that ever owned anybody. And because their ancestors did, I mean, if we went on the internet and we researched when slavery started, are you gonna trace back? As a matter of fact, here, let me see here.
Yeah, while you're looking, and let's stop talking about slavery was an American thing. It was all over the world. Like, oh my God, America was an American thing. Get out of here with that crap. Like,
Okay, dude,
stop it.
This says slavery was institutionalized by the time the first civilizations emerged, such as Sumer in Mesopotamia.
Yeah,
Mesopotamia. Which dates back as far as 3500 BC. That is crazy, and so they make it sound like it was an American thing. Slavery was an American thing, and that is just not true. I mean, I'm not taking away anything from the history of slavery. Yes, it was wrong and it was bad. I get it, but nobody that's still alive on this earth had anything to do with that anymore. And this whole reparation conversation happening is just ridiculous. We need to get out of that. It's the same conversation we have with everybody has the same opportunities in the United States. If you come to this country legally, you being white, brown, black, yellow, whatever you are, everybody has the same opportunities. We all can go to McDonald's, just using them again, get the same job if you're qualified. If you go over there and you're looking for work, you're going to get work if you're willing to work. Nobody owes anybody anything at this point anymore. The only thing people should come here in this country is to look for a better way of life, look for to make yourself better, to better your family, and that's it. Trying to get money from people who weren't around when your ancestors were slaves. I'm sorry, that's all BS now, man. I mean that's all people just looking for a leg up.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'll carry it a step further. Not only does the world do we owe you nothing, I ain't apologizing for it either. All right, I'm not apologizing for anything my country has done to be great. I'm not doing it, okay? I'm not. I bleed this red, white, and blue, okay? I love this country just as much or more than anybody else living here. And have we always got it right? No. Do we have a few black eyes? Yes, we do. But at the end of the day, we are the youngest country, one of the youngest countries in the world, and we're the damn best. We're back-to-back World War champions. I'm not apologizing for anything this country has done. I'm not apologizing to Germany for kicking their ass. I'm not apologizing to Hiroshima or Nagasaki. I'm not apologizing for nothing that our country did to become great. I wasn't alive when all that stuff was going on. The majority of my family wasn't alive when that was going on. So if you're looking for an apology, you better swipe right, because you're not getting it here. I love this country, and I ain't apologizing.
Amen to that. We all love this country.
Hallelujah. All right, let's talk about NPR some more. Let's see how much more pissed off I can get today. So Jim Jordan just completely blows the whistle on NPR. Mr. Producer, I need a breath. Play this clip.
Mr. Berliner, in his story last year, wrote, in the D.C. area, editorial positions at NPR, he said he found 87 registered Democrats, 0 Republicans. Is that accurate?
We do not track the numbers or the voter registration, but I find that
was award-winning journalist who worked 25 years at NPR, Mr. Berliner, was he lying when he wrote that?
I am not presuming such. I just we don't track that information about our journalists.
87 to 0, and you're not biased?
I think that is concerning if those numbers are accurate.
It's concerning. I mean, it wasn't 44-43. It wasn't 60-27. It wasn't 70-17. It wasn't even 80-7. It was 87 Democrats, 0 Republicans, and you say NPR is not biased. How about the big stories over the last few years? According to Mr. Berliner, again, he wrote on the Trump-Russia story, he wrote, at NPR, we hitched our wagon to Trump's most visible antagonist, Representative Adam Schiff. They said they interviewed him 25 times. Is that accurate?
I was not there at the time, but those numbers sound accurate.
Those sound accurate. But then he said when the Mueller report came out, Mueller said, Robert Mueller.
Can I just ask a question here while this videos keep playing? Why is it that every time one of these Peckerwoods is in front of Congress, they can't ever answer a question? Like, they never answer a question. Like, so translation for this video for you people, NPR sucks. Okay? 87 journalists in NPR, all 87 of them are Democrats. None of them are Republicans or conservatives. They're all going to push. I mean, it's 87 to nothing. Okay? I mean, 87 to nothing. That's a Madden score. All right? It's 87 to nothing right there. So why would you give them a cent? All right? I don't. I mean,
well, she obviously rehearsed, and as a lot of these people do, they rehearse with their lawyers, and this is the way you answer the question. This is how you can answer the question without impeaching yourself. I mean, they literally have to do this because they know they're doing wrong, but they cannot just sit there and say, I plead the fifth, or I don't want to answer the question, because then you're pretty much admitting guilt. But if they veer off and not answer the question directed to them, just like their lawyers advise them to, this is why we get these kinds of hearings. And we see it all the time with people not answering the questions. So it is very irritating and very frustrating, because obviously they're getting federal funding from us, so they should have to answer the questions that our politicians are asking them. And I mean, cut them all off, just like we did with.
I'm telling you, like, that's why I can't do this. That's why I would not be able to be, if I was Jim Jordan, I would have I would have like a row of tennis balls sitting in front of me, and I would ask a question, and they sidestep the question. I throw the tennis ball at them, answer the question. Well, I throw the tennis ball, answer the question.
I got a better one for you, man. Put a shot collar on them. Like, what?
Yeah, 100%. Like 100%. But anyway, let's end the show on some good news, hilarious news. So this anchor, this news anchor, he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Personally, I think it's great. Like, this is just something to you guys laugh at before we get out of here. I mean, he just standing there, just, all over the street, just old man, just all over the street. So y'all are welcome.
That's pretty funny.
Thank you for that, Mr. Producer. That actually brought my blood pressure down a little bit. So kudos to you.
That is pretty funny.
I love it. That was great.
Hey, can we play it, Mr. Producer? Can you play it? I want to hear his. I want to hear what he's saying.
Newcastle County, Delaware.
That old man has no idea. He's like, yeah. See, me personally, as soon because they can see that. I would have hiked my leg up. I would have. I know me. Y'all know me. My leg would have went up. I would have played that out. That would have been amazing.
That is hilarious. The weatherman on the left-hand side over here, he starts laughing when he's looking at the camera. You see that reaction.
It's so great. It's so great. But anyway, that's all the time we got, guys. Chad, I don't know if you're watching, bro, but I hope you feel better real soon. I don't know if Chad's going to have a show this afternoon at 1. I will be back on today at 3. Tony, pray us out, man. My hair is majestic. Look at this.
Lord, thank you so much for another beautiful day. We're waking up this morning and giving thanks for breath in our lungs and being able to hang out with our families and our friends. I pray to you to keep everybody safe, all the viewers in the chat, all the people that we care about, all of our families. Thank you for everything. I mean, I am just blown away with your blessings that you give us day in and day out. Food on our tables, roof over our heads, the love in our families. We don't have the words to appreciate everything that you give us day to day, but I am thankful for everything you give us day to day. I pray that you keep everybody safe this weekend. I pray that you give Chad his I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's sick or whatnot, but I pray that he gets well soon. I pray for Todd to bring his blood pressure down because obviously you see that he was hurting today. But we all need prayers, and just keep everybody safe. We love you, and I ask you all of this in the name of your Son Jesus. Amen.
Amen. And before we get to the super questions, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget, please. Okay, it's me and Tony. Without Chad or Graham trying to hold the fort down. So look, this is what I need you guys to do. I need you to stop what you're doing. There's 644 likes right now. Doesn't cost you anything to hit that like button. I need you to show Chad and show Graham how much you love the Mexican by hitting that like button. Okay. Hit that like button really hard right now. And if you're not following this channel, what is wrong with you? Hit the follow button. It doesn't cost you anything. And that way, anytime, especially here on Dear America, if you hit the follow button on the Dear America channel, anytime one of us goes live, whether it's here in the morning, whether it's Chad, whether it's me, whether it's Meggie Moo or Live Fire or Brianna, you get notified that, hey, somebody on the Dear America network is live. So let's keep this thing going because, guys, we are up against a wall. I mean, we got a lot of people in this morning shift, but I just want to take a second, and a lot of you guys are still showing up and showing out and hanging out with us, and I can't tell you how much that me personally, and I know I speak for Tony as well, and Chad and Graham, we appreciate you staying with us, hanging with us, and being a part of our lives, and just cultivating and creating this Dear America family that I'm just thankful to be a part of. So thank you for that. Love you guys.
Yep.
And
by the way, Todd, this is the last show we're doing in this studio.
Really?
Because Graham's gone, so we gave up the studio. So I'm shifting all my equipment to my home. So this is literally my last show here in the studio. So it's kind of bittersweet because I mean you've been here many times here.
Dude,
Todd,
I grew up in that studio, man.
Yep.
That's where Hot
So-
Seat Todd was born.
Yep. As soon as this show's over, I am packing up all the equipment here. I mean, the studio's pretty much like 95% emptied out because I've been doing it since Graham left. So yeah, man, this is the last show we're doing here. So my next time you guys see me, it's gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna be at home, and it's, I haven't decorated my room yet, so it might be a little off. So we might have a
Awesome.
little technical difficulties on Mondays.
Oh my God!
Well, that was the first super question of the day. It's actually from Graham, and I know because he texted me. I may be biased, but this is the best morning show. I miss you all, Graham, American flag. Miss you too, buddy. Todd Hub fan, Marvel is trying for a comeback if you have seen the actor list for Doomsday. I actually have. Dr. Doom played by Robert Downey Jr. They better do it right. That's all I'm saying. They better do it right.
I see a lot of people not agreeing with bringing Robert Downey Jr. back. Like his character died off, and I see a lot of like backlash from bringing him on Doomsday.
Well, they're bringing him back as Dr. Doom.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just saying, the actor and
Well,
the way
it's another
he.
universe. It's
Yeah,
another.
no, I get all that. I'm just saying, they're bringing him back as he's gonna be a bad guy, right, or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
Dr. Doom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow comic books. I'm sorry. I mean, I just.
I'm the guy that sits in the movie theater during a Marvel movie and goes, nope, that didn't happen in the comic book. I'm that dude. Yeah. Anyway, next. Sorry. Well, I can get nerdy really quick.
Oh
so-
my God!
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, shut up. Watts Bar. Oh my God, $200. Wow. Thank you,
bro.
Watts
Thank
Bar. I topped you, Graham. You are so missed. Go get him, Graham. Thank you. Wow, $200. Thank you right there, Watts Bar. That's amazing. Thank you for that. That's one of the biggest ones I've seen in a while. Queen Kate, $5. Todd, did you see my email? I made something for Tony. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure I will after the show's over with, and I will make sure Tony sees it.
Whatever it is, Queen Kate. Thank you. Unless you're sending me plans for, I don't know, to destroy the building. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. NZAB, I am tired of the signal gate nonsense. They cannot afford these kinds of missteps. It gives the Democrats ammunition and becomes a distraction. They need a tightly run ship so we can move forward. I agree. It shouldn't have happened. I mean, it shouldn't have happened. But that's the problem with it is the American people, the majority, all of us veterans that saw it were like, whatever. But your typical American was probably going, oh, my God, oh, my God. And the Democrats know that. They're not stupid. They're not stupid. But moving on. Alicia Victoria, maybe, just maybe, the Dems could stop treating people like they're stupid unless that whole party changes. Nobody is falling for their tricks anymore. I agree.
Yeah.
Especially when you got people. Go ahead.
I said I would like to agree for that, but unfortunately, Democrats are very, very close-minded, and they are gonna vote anti-Trump, anti-Vance come next voting cycle because they see us as the enemy. I mean, we're trying to make America better and get back on track where where we can care about every single American citizen here. But they try to portray us as the enemy, and unfortunately, you're not going to get those left-minded Democratic people to come over to our side. That's just, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, if they continue to try to force, not make, if they continue to try to force policy for a percent of the population and try to make 99% of the population just swallow it, they're going to continue to lose. So you're doing great. Keep doing it. T. Simon.
Oh my God!
$200. God, Tony, we've made some money today.
Yeah, we have.
Actually, Graham didn't tell you guys yet, but I'm his favorite person on earth. I don't think so. No, you're not. I am. Well, I mean, other than Alyssa and his children. Yeah. But thank you, 200. That's insane. Some of y'all need to come to my show and throw that kind of money around. Good Lord.
Yeah,
man.
no kidding.
Golly, man, I'm eating ramen noodles out of a coffee maker. Follow everyone in the DA on the socials. At Megamoo32 is like 12 away from 1,200 followers. I believe she said that Tuesday. Let's get her there. Todd used the dad voice. Get it done, folks. Yeah, go to Megamoo32. Look, guys, I have a link in all of my bios. It's the link for the entire Dear America Network. It's got all the creators, follow all the channels, all of their merch. Guys, spread the love. Spread the love. Come on, y'all can do it. Todd Hub fan. I agree with Tony. Prices won't go down. These corporations are greedy and will keep prices the same while we're still living paycheck to paycheck. You can always count on trash to be trash.
Yeah, you know, and Todd, now that we said that, I had a conversation with, I forgot who it was the other day, but I was like, Trump campaigned a lot and he attacked the Biden administration of not bringing down the prices because they were in office then. Somebody was saying to me that why can't Trump do that now? I think it was, obviously I think it was a liberal. No, Trump campaigned that, you guys are there. Why can't you guys bring the prices now? Well, they flipped it on him now. They're like, well, why can't you bring the prices down now? So, I was it's going to take time. So
yeah, it is. But it's also, it's also the way the country is, man. You're not going to call Ford Motor Company and say, hey, I need you to knock the cost of that Mustang down $10,000. They're just going to tell you to go pound sand. That's just, sorry. That's just how it works. But okay.
Yep.
Next. Is that all?
We lost. No, I think we had. You had another one up there, I think.
There we go. My MX wife. Great show today, guys. Prayers for all of you. Have a great weekend. You too. Have a wonderful weekend.
Same to you.
Where is Royce? From Madun. Royce is in D.C. doing something, and none of us know what. So, no idea. Don't get me wrong. I love Todd and Tony, but I've not been able to watch for a while, and I did not know where the rest of their crew went. Well, Chad is sick. Graham is working for the Pentagon. He's not gone permanently, okay? He's on sabbatical because he is doing things with the Department of Defense right now, helping Secretary Pete Hegseth right the ship and get the military lethal again. And I'm sorry, guys, that's more important than hosting a show. I know you love him. I love him. We miss him too. We do, but what he's doing is more important than hosting a show on Rumble because he's erecting the ship. He's helped writing the ship. That's more important. All right. Yeah, Chad's sick. Royce is doing something in the Pentagon, probably. I don't know what.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of correcting to do. Not just on everything. You guys know that Biden left us with a crap load of mess. So
and if you're wearing a uniform. And trust me, if you're wearing a uniform right now, you're thankful Graham's at the Pentagon. I know you are. Trust me. Lines fade. We've been having issues with our kids' schools for years, and we've reached the final straw this morning. I just want to ask for prayers to show us where they need to be going forward. Love y'all, fam. Yeah, prayers to you. I can't even imagine right now. I can't. Alicia Victoria. Asking for some prayer. My older brother is able to go to church every other Sunday. He has issues with God due to a disability he was given at birth. Every time he's able to come, he always has a rough morning before church. Also, if my sister-in-law comes with him, she distracts the entire time. God is reaching my niece, but I know he's trying for my older brother too. He just has to listen. Give it time. Just give it time.
Yep.
Emily 1018, love starting my mornings with you. Been around since the truck days and love how the show has evolved. P.S. It's my birthday tomorrow, celebrating 43. Happy birthday tomorrow, Emily. Happy birthday. Happy 43rd.
It's amazing how the show has evolved, Todd. Remember when you and I and Graham were in the other office before we went to the studio over here? And Graham sometimes would get nervous. I was like, I don't know if I can leave you guys by yourselves. And look at us now. We're just...
hey,
just
man,
do it. Yep.
Keep doing the thing. Love us or hate us. We here, baby.
Yep.
I heart country life. Me too. Good luck tonight in the Sweet 16. I ain't saying that. And Alabama, I guess. I ain't saying it. Tony can say it.
Baby. SEC, right? Yeah,
Tony
I like
can
the Gators.
say it. There you go.
The Gators, man. Yep, go Gators.
Michelle Lee Ferris, I would hate to piss off Todd because the way he goes off. I would hate to piss off Tony because of his death stare. Look, I'm not a violent person. I'm really not. I know it seems like I would be, but there's a couple things that'll get me there.
I'm a violent person. Don't mess with me.
Jeff Wallace, this is a message for the Dear America family. Let's pray for these men. When they stand up and share God, spiritual warfare happens. Cover them in prayer. Love you guys. Thanks for standing tall. Yeah, please. Trust me. I need all the prayers I can get.
We
ladies
all
and
do.
gentlemen. I do. I struggle every single day of the week. So
My cup
yes.
is never full. Everybody's cup is never full for prayers, man. I mean,
And that's all. That's it. So listen, I don't know. Be on the lookout. I don't know if Chad's going to be well enough to do his show at 1. I've been kind of checking my messages to see. I haven't seen anything. But listen, on your way out right now, hit that like button for me. There's 909. Let's try to get it to 1,000. And for the 5 people to hit the thumbs down button, your mother doesn't love you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Tony, you want to say goodbye to the people?
yes, sir. Everybody have a blessed weekend. We will see you guys on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am Hot Seat Todd. I will see you guys at 3 o'clock this afternoon, God's time. For Chad Prather, for Graham Allen, I will say the catchphrase, stay awake, not woke, trusting God, not the government. And as always, stay free.